Oh, that was a good one. Thanks for joining us today on My RC Family. Today we're going to be reviewing the HBX 16889A Pro. Now this is a fully upgraded version of the car that I awarded Mini Basher of the Year in 2020. It is still super tough and durable. We've had it for 4 weeks and it's not been on the bench yet. It's also really quick at around 40 k's an hour. I'm going to go now to some of the footage that we took when we've been bashing this around with the kids. And if you want to stick around to the end, I'll do an in-depth review on the bench, looking at all the components and talking you through what that means for your experience with this RC car. So thanks for sticking around, enjoy the footage, and we'll talk to you soon. Alright guys, before we go too much further, I thought I'd show you what kind of abuse we've been putting this little truck through. It's taken some serious tumbles and cartwheels like crazy, but it simply hasn't needed repairing. We've just been charging up the batteries and going. Jump again, buddy. Okay. Yay! Another one, Jenny. Oh, it's still going. Oh, that was a good one. Whoa, missed it. Uh-oh. So now we come to the part of this review where we take a closer look at this car on the bench. So just a reminder, this is the HBX 16889A Pro. It's a 1/16 scale RC truck. It's brushless, and yeah, let's take a closer look at it. Of course, if you want to see more, I've got a link to the product in the description. So very quickly, what I'm going to cover in the review is probably some of the key points of the truck and why they are relevant to how the way they drive, perform, or how it makes it durable. So with the lid off, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the power system, which consists of a large brushless 2840 motor and 3800 kV, a brushless ESC or electronic speed controller. So the brushless technology is the more premium technology in this compared to the brushed products, which are much cheaper. So fantastic benefits from the brushless products. They equal more speed, more acceleration, and much less battery usage. So in practical effect, that means this car will do 40 kilometers an hour quite easily with very rapid acceleration, and even out of a small 1000 milliamp hour 2S battery will achieve around 20 minutes plus of runtime. So even better, this is a very low stress system. So at the end of quite a lot of hard bashing, the motor temperature, the ESC temperature is barely even registered. So really tough little setup that I'd expect to last for a long time. The next thing that I want to talk about with my chopstick pointer is the oil-filled shocks on all four corners. So the previous iteration, the non-pro version of this, came with non-oil-filled shocks. So the benefit that the oil-filled shocks is greater dampening, which means greater control over the springs. So what does that mean in effect? It means that when you're traveling over rough terrain, these shock absorbers will help control the tire better. It will allow you better grip, better handling, and when you go over jumps, it'll be much more steady on the landing. The next thing I want to talk about here is the metal gearbox. So the gears right through here are metal, and I'll flick away for a moment and then I'll come back and show you underneath the covers what that looks like. I've taken the covers off now to give you a better view of the metal gears that are used in this car, and this compares to the plastic gears that are used in the non-pro model that I've mentioned before. So the motor runs a 3.2mm drive shaft onto the 0.6 mod pinion gear and the associated spur gear. It's nice to see that the spur gear is weight reduced and is thin, which is an appropriate design for the spur gear, trying to minimize that rotating mass as much as possible. This moves on to the bevel pinion gear that drives the crown gear on the differential. Nice, really well cut gears on here too. And you'll be pleased to know that even on the inside of this differential, it runs metal gears as well. So every single gear in this car is made of metal. Now this system with the bevel pinion and the differential is repeated identically in the front. It is linked by the prop shaft, and as you can see, ball bearings everywhere you look on this car. So this makes for a very efficient gearbox, and HBX, especially the manufacturer of this car, make fantastic gears, the most quiet gearboxes I've heard. So you'll be pleased to know that the meshing, the quality of the cut of the gears, the casting, all really good, and it makes it's really surprising to see in such a small car. You don't usually see this until you get up into the bigger scales, so it's nice to see that technology trickle down to this product. So I'm going to go away and use my special electric screwdriver to pull all these screws on to make the job a bit faster, and I'll come back to you with the rest of the bench review. So now that we've got the covers back on, I'll just take you through the rest of the metal components in the drivetrain. Again, these are an upgrade on the standard version and really make this car work worthwhile. You probably can't see them very well, but in the front you have full metal dog bones and CVDs with very beefy drive cups on either side. So and these culminate in a M4 bolt that holds the wheel on. So very strong drive line, and these will stand up to an awful lot of punishment. Similar setup in the rear, but with the dog bones and cups instead, which are appropriate for this sort of setup. So that covers off the main functions of the car. I want to make a special note on the plastics that HBX use. So you'll see that it's a largely plastic car, and you may think to yourself that equals cheap, but actually this is the best setup for a basher or a car that's going to stand up to a lot of punishment. Especially I like the HBX plastics because it has enough rigidity for the components, but it also has a degree of flexibility so that when you crash or land jumps or anything like that, some of the shock will be absorbed by the flexibility of this plastic, but not enough so that it makes it handle too loosely. So HBX are really well known for this high quality plastic, and we've seen their models stand up to a lot of abuse, including again the non-pro model of this, which won my 2020 Car of the Year. One of the main reasons of which is because it was so durable. Lastly, I'll just talk about the extras that came in the packet that you need to fit yourself. You'll see these extra wires that come through up to the front. Now these are for the LED headlights, which are actually quite bright. So you'll need to fit these yourself, but there's really clear instructions to do so. And at the rear of the car, we have this very necessary wheelie bar included with ball bearings in there, so it's quite special really. So this wheelie bar will do what it says on the label basically, so it'll get to this angle before you stop, but before it tries to flip over. So there's a bit of adjustment in there that you can change it up. Look, these are the main aspects of the car, and it's really a fantastic little unit. Again, my favorite part about it is the speed and efficiency. Getting that battery life is really good, especially for the kids when you want to spend more time running the car than you do charging it. And my second, or probably first equal favorite aspect, is the strength and durability of this car, especially with all these new metal components in there. That this makes this car practically indestructible. The highest praise that I see from this car is that on all the forums that I go on, people are always talking about that their 5-year-old son, their 6-year-old son, 7, 8-year-old son runs this car, crashes all the time, and they're never having to fix it. And this reflects what I'm seeing too. For all the cars that I have in my bench, this is one that has not needed repair. I basically just charge the battery up, put the body on, and go, and we rinse and repeat. So great little car. Again, link is down in the description below in the video as to where you can buy it, and I'll include any coupon codes if there are any available at the moment. So highly recommend this this little car as a basher, as a little fun road, off-road, on-road play toy. And I shouldn't really call it a toy because it is a hobby grade car, but a fantastic little unit that I highly recommend.